It's just after midnight, on a quiet street in Central Florida. The air is still, the streetlights hum, and for a few minutes, nothing moves. Then, a voice crackles through the radio. A suspect's on the run, foot pursuit in progress. Within seconds, that quiet street will turn into chaos. In the confusion of flashing lights, adrenaline, and fear, one decision will change everything. A backup officer speeds to help. But in the blur of sirens and shadows, something goes terribly wrong. He doesn't see them, not the suspect, not the officer, until it's too late. Tonight, we're breaking down the real story of a moment that no one ever plans for, when backup becomes the accident. The call came in just after 12:15 a.m. A patrol officer had pulled over a vehicle suspected in a local burglary series. Nothing unusual at first. But the driver, a 29-year-old man with a record of petty theft and outstanding warrants, wasn't planning to go quietly. As the officer approached, the suspect bolted, sprinting into the darkness of a nearby neighborhood. The officer gave chase on foot, his radio open, his breath ragged through the mic. You can almost hear it, that mix of urgency and determination every cop knows too well. He called for backup. And that's when Officer Mark Delaney heard the call. Delaney had been with the department for just over 6 years, a quiet, dependable guy. He was known for showing up fast when things got dangerous. That night, he was only a few blocks away. He flipped on his lights and gunned it down the main road, heart pounding, scanning the GPS on his dash. Adrenaline does something to your vision. It narrows it. Everything outside your immediate focus fades into a blur. For officers, that tunnel vision can save lives, or end them. As he rounded the corner into the residential block, Delaney caught a glimpse of movement, silhouettes in the dark. He thought it was the suspect cutting across the lawn. He was wrong. Bodycam footage later revealed what really happened. The primary officer had tackled the suspect near a low hedge, partially obscured from the road. Both men were struggling on the ground, a tangle of limbs and chaos. The suspect was reaching for something. Maybe a weapon, maybe nothing at all. The officer was shouting commands, his voice breaking through the night air. And then, headlights. The backup cruiser came in fast, wheels squealing against wet asphalt. Delaney saw the shapes, hit the brakes, but by then it was too late. The car jolted as it struck them both. In that split second, 2 lives, one sworn to protect, one running from the law, collided under the same steel and glass. The impact threw the officer several feet. The suspect lay motionless. The silence that followed was deafening. Delaney stumbled out of his car, radio clutched in shaking hands. "Officer down! Officer down!" he screamed into the mic. Within minutes, the scene filled with flashing lights, red, blue, and white blending into a nightmare. Paramedics worked frantically under the harsh glare of headlights. The suspect was pronounced dead at the scene. The injured officer was airlifted to a trauma center, fighting for his life. Delaney just stood there. You can see it in the footage, the way he freezes, his face pale, eyes wide. He keeps repeating, "I didn't see them. I didn't see them." The investigation took weeks. Crash reconstruction teams analyzed skid marks, speed data, light angles, every possible detail. It turned out Delaney had been traveling about 42 miles per hour in a 25 zone, not reckless for an emergency response, but enough that stopping in time was impossible once the figures appeared in his headlights. No drugs, no alcohol, just adrenaline and a tragic misjudgment. The department called it a line-of-duty accident. No criminal charges were filed, but Delaney didn't see it that way. He took administrative leave, then quietly resigned 6 months later. Friends say he never really came back from that night. He told one colleague, "I became the thing I was trying to save them from." It's easy to think of police work as good versus bad, heroes versus criminals. But in the real world, it's far messier. In 2023 alone, over 50 law enforcement officers in the U.S. were injured or killed in vehicle-related incidents involving other police units. Half of those involved poor visibility, adrenaline, or confusion in the field. Every pursuit, every call for backup carries invisible risks, the kind that training can't always prevent. the kind that haunt you long after the sirens fade. The injured officer eventually recovered after months of surgery and rehab. He later said he didn't blame Delaney. "None of us go out there trying to hurt each other, but out there things happen faster than your brain can catch up," he told reporters. The suspect's family filed a civil suit that was quietly settled out of court. No amount of money could untangle what really broke that night. 3 people went into that encounter: a suspect, an officer, and his backup. Only one walked away unchanged. Every officer knows the weight of risk. But what they don't talk about enough is the weight of remorse. Because sometimes the line between hero and victim isn't a line at all.